you just click ropes. Let's learn about them. Come on. Welcome to my lab. Right here, we have both a dynamic rope and a static sling. Now, they make ropes in static also, but I don't have one on me, so get over it. Now, what does dynamic mean? Dynamic means that a rope will stretch under load. As you can see, this rope, in a very small amount, will kind of stretch and compress. Then we look at this sling right here, and the sling is called static. So remember, two types, dynamic and static. Static doesn't stretch at all. It stretches a very small amount, but you can't even perceive it by eye. Now the question is, why do we want something that stretches and something that doesn't in the world of rock climbing? So to explore the world of ropes, we are going to go to our cat lab here. We have our cat named Mac on our heating pad set to medium, just to help us out with understanding what ropes are made of and how they work. So first, let's look at what ropes are made of. Well, it's pretty obvious right there. We have this substance we like to call nylon. Now, what is nylon? Nylon is a very interesting material. It's a synthetic material, and it's known for being very strong and very lightweight. So how do these ropes work that we use? Well, you might think that a rope is just made of maybe one giant core of nylon, but as you can see Mac right here, she definitely doesn't agree with that. Ropes are actually made of different intertwining ropes within a rope. So you get kind of a braided effect over time, and you form all these different cords into the core of your rope. So then you're asking, okay, well, why don't we see that? Well, you don't see it because you form a sheath around these ropes to protect them from cutting and UV and other things like that. So you're maybe asking yourself, who created this magical material? Well, that guy was Wallace Hume Carothers. He lived from 1896 to 1937. He was an American chemist, and he was one of the coolest guys known in rock climbing history, because nylon is so important to what we do. So what is the importance to climbing? Well, anything soft in climbing is usually made of nylon. Sometimes there's some other things like Dyneema or Spectra, but most things have been made of nylon. You know, you can see Mac right here. She definitely agrees. So what do I mean by soft goods? I mean harnesses. I mean carabiners. I mean, not carabiners, quick draws. I meant quick draws. So like the slings in a quick draw, you got slings, you got ropes, you got a myriad of things that if we did not have nylon, we could not go climbing today. Now, before I was mentioning the difference of static versus dynamic, you guys are going to watch a quick, short test right after this, and I'm going to show you the difference between static and dynamic, and right after that, I will explain to you the importance of each within the climbing industry. Okay, Mac? Are you good with that? Oh, yeah, she's fantastic with that. Last one fall, dynamic rope, and go. 2, 3. Whoa, it held. Okay. Do we have any damage? We don't really have any damage. Alright. We'll a static rope, factor 1 fall. 1, 2, 3. Ruh-roh. Alright, so as you saw in the previous videos, you notice that the dynamic core of a rope, I did not mention this, but I will mention it now. The ropes that were being tested were actual cores from ropes. As I was talking about earlier with this wonderful little image right here, you have your little cores of your ropes, and then they're surrounded by a sheath. So you take one core of each kind of rope, either a static and a dynamic. Now, you'll notice on the videos, the dynamic rope did not snap while the static rope snapped. However, a lot of people would be surprised when I say this, that static ropes are generally stronger than dynamic. So then you're asking yourself, well, why did the dynamic one not snap and the static one did? Well, the point of having different types of materials is exactly why you you have a crumple zone in your car. So we have a little car here. I'm going to butcher this. I'm sorry. There we go. We put a little crumple zone right here to slowly stop ourselves in the case of a collision. It crumples up. Now, if we put a giant steel block here, the shock load to your bodies, which here we are, very unhappy because we're getting a horrible shock load to us, would be incredibly painful and possibly deadly. So that is why we use dynamic ropes when we are climbing. If we take a fall on a dynamic rope, it stretches, reducing the load on our anchors, our rope, and all of our other climbing materials, including your body. However, we sometimes want to use static ropes to create stuff like anchors. We don't really want stretching. We have a rope attached to it that stretches, but we want anchors to be solid and immobile. So that is the science and the history of ropes. What did you think, Mac? Did we do a good job? As you can see, she definitely agrees. Thank you for watching, and I hope you watch one of my other videos.